I love caffeine. I love caffeine. Wait a minute, I've done this before. Today we're talking about confidence and how you can get it. Stick around. I'm going to show you 5, 6, 7. I'm going to show you some steps on how you can become more confident. Let's do it. Hello again, my friends. My name is Josh Lewis. Welcome again to another tip on growth. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. We got tips on growth coming at you every single week. In today's topic, I'm talking about a topic I previously talked about a little while ago, but I'm gonna go deep about it, go real deep. This is called how to build confidence that lasts. I'm just gonna go into it, man, because this is something that is a very important topic to me, because I believe confidence is one of those things that is something that needs to be built upon continuously. So let's talk about confidence for a minute. What is confidence? Confidence is the ability to have a certainty about something that you can deliver consistently. So what I mean by that is you have attached a feeling of certainty over a subject, over something that you know that you can deliver on it consistently, that no matter what, you can almost do it without thinking about it. It has implanted into your subconscious brain. So let's talk about that for a moment. So we have the conscious brain, we have the subconscious brain. The subconscious brain is pretty much aware of everything that we do and drives everything that we do. Our subconscious brain is where our beliefs are built in, where our beliefs are strongly implemented in like cement, that no matter what, that they're in there and they're always going to be in there. So how do we develop confidence into the subconscious mind? So I did a video about this before. I'm gonna put a link in the description below. It's a quick 5-minute video, lots of energy. This one's a little bit different because I'm going deep into the topic, but I explained how confidence is really built by doing 3 things, 3 simple steps, which is number 1, picking a task. Number 2, your repeated attempts at a task. And number 3, completing the task. In a sense, all confidence is being able to go after something and completing it, and then building a sense of certainty so your brain goes, check, okay, we know how to do this. And then the more times you do it, through more repetition, you do it without thinking. And that's how it gets into your subconscious brain. So it's like riding a bike. The first time you've ever rode a bike, you were like this. I'm still like that when I ride a bike. And you're like, oh my God. And then the more you rode a bike, the more you did it, you're thinking, can I do jumps now? Can I swerve my tire over this way? Can I do a wheelie? Can I do whatever it is? Your brain is already, your subconscious brain is already programming you to ride the bike. You're not even thinking about that anymore. You have confidence that you can do it, that you're trying more tasks. So you're repeating that process of picking a task, repeated attempts at said task, and then going and completing the task. So the thing is that I explained that that's what confidence is, but I really want to be able to go deep on how you can build confidence that lasts. So in order to build confidence that lasts, it comes to one thing and one word only: repetition. The more you do something, the more you build a stack of certainty in your brain that just, no matter what, it's there. There's some things that we're so confident about daily that we don't even realize it. So for instance, if you drive a car, you are confident when you get into that car that you know how to back up, you know how to stop, you know how to go through a stoplight, not go through a stoplight, stop at a stoplight. You can keep driving through a stoplight. I mean, you could do that if you want, but don't do that, it's a bad idea. So you're aware of everything that you do and you're confident in it because you do it every single day. The problem is, and this is the biggest gap between, let's say this is confidence and this is where you are and you want to be confident in a topic. And there's a big gap, and what that gap is the gap of uncertainty. That's what I'm going to call it, the gap of uncertainty. So what you need to do is to build confidence that lasts is start writing down things that you know you're good at, even if they're simple, like driving a car. like riding a bike, like going on the internet, like texting, all these things that you programmed into your mind that when you first started to do, remember, you had no certainty about it, you just did it. And what happens is in between that gap, there is an element of fear, usually because over towards confidence is something, a greater version of ourselves that we want to accomplish, that we want to be on, and we want to be able to get to. And the problem is we let that fear become bigger than every single other task we've ever completed in life. If you were to take all the tasks you've ever completed in life and wrote them down, first off, you're not going to be able to remember all of them. But let's say if you spent like a week writing down every single thing you've ever accomplished and every single thing that you're ever confident on. For me, I was not confident when I started doing these videos. I was like, I don't know. Now I just hit press record and I keep talking, and I know it's gonna turn out well because I know what I wanna say. I have passion behind the project, and I've done it so many times to the point where it's like, yeah, let's do it. I have fun doing it instead of being nervous. See, the thing is if you were to take all those things and write them down and review them, you would be able to realize that you do so many things every single day that a confidence person does. The only change is that you're trying to get those things that you've done and duplicate them into a new thing that you want to do. So let's say, I'm going to use an extreme example. Let's say it's flying a plane. You've never flown a plane before, you want to take lessons, you want to learn how to fly a plane. Are you going to have any confidence doing it? No, of course not. But you're going to go look up things, you're going to try the task, you're going to do repeated attempts at the said task, and through consistency and repetition, you can get to that point where you're like, okay, I'm gonna get my pilot's license. Let's look at instruments for example. I had no confidence in playing the guitar. I always wanted to play guitar, and then I went to guitar lessons, Macri School of Music. I'm gonna put the link in below. If you're in the Connecticut area, I strongly suggest them. They're great, it helped change my life. And it's one of those things that, like, now I can pick up a guitar and be like, ooh, I can play this, I can do that. Where before, when I first played the guitar, I had no sense of confidence. But that gap that I had of being like, oh my God, I don't know, should I really do it? I don't know, maybe, am I getting too old? I don't want to, but what if the teacher's bad? What if I'm bad? What if I just waste money? And all those what if questions were the fear, when there's the gap of fear. And I persisted through them, and I just picked a task, playing the guitar, and I just consistently went after it. Now I can play pretty well. Can't play great. That's why I'm going to guitar lessons later on today. But it's consistently something that I always build on. And the more I do it, the more I build confidence in it. And guess what? Guess what happens when I don't have confidence in the subject? It means I've stopped practicing at it. It means I've stopped repeating on how to do something. Once you stop doing something, you're gonna lose a little bit of confidence. So I suggest that you write down 3 or 4 things that you really wanna be good at and repeat every single day the attempts to get better at those things. So whether it's riding a bike, whether it's playing an instrument, whether it's learning a new language, it's the ability to get through that gap of fear. Now, I'm gonna give you a tip on how you can get through that gap of fear, because this is where you are, this is where the confidence is, and that gap right there. That's the gap of fear which prevents you, like, I can't do it, I don't feel confident about something. Whether it's talking to a member of the opposite sex, whether it's talking to your boss, whether it's talking to coworkers, I used to be so shy and so scared to talk to people, I would literally shake when I would talk to people. I thought something was wrong with me. People thought something was wrong with me. Now I love talking to people because I love human beings, but that only happened through consistency and repetition. And this is how you get through that gap of fear, so you're not shaking and doing whatever it is. Make sure the what if questions you're asking are of a positive nature. I'm gonna repeat that again. We all ask what if questions in our brains to evaluate situations. Make sure the what if questions you're asking yourself are of a positive nature. So for instance, if you're like, okay, I want to be able to learn to play an instrument, but what if I get a bad teacher? Yeah, well, you just made that scenario up. What if you get a great teacher? What if I waste my money? Or what if it's the best investment you've ever made? What if I buy a guitar and it breaks? What if you buy a guitar and it's the best guitar you've ever had? See, what happens is when we have that gap of fear and it's talking to us, we create these what if scenarios in our brain. And the best thing to do with these scenarios is to switch them into a positive. So when you're thinking about it, when you're going after something that you want to go after, whether it's learning a new instrument, whether it's talking to a member of the opposite sex, whether it's talking to strangers, whether it's getting better at being able to have communication skills, whatever it is, the what if thoughts that are in that gap, make sure they're a positive nature. And then just keep on going towards it. So I'm gonna recap real quick. The best way to build confidence long term is through these 3 things. Let's just put it down to 3 things. Number 1, repetition and consistency. Make sure you are repeating every single attempt at your task and you're consistent with it. Number 2, change your what if questions. Change your what if questions to a positive nature. Make sure you take that gap of fear and you eradicate all the negative what if questions. And number 3, stack as many scenarios where you have built confidence and review them as often as you can. Because what happens is the more you realize that you're confident at something, the more confidence builds that, hey, I was able to do this, I was able to do that, I was able to do this, I was able to do that, and you start asking yourself a very powerful question. What else can I do? It's one of the most powerful questions that you could ask yourself. What else could I do? And not in an arrogant sense, but in a confident sense. I did this, now what else can I do? This is how you build lasting confidence. And I'm gonna leave you with the final tip. Confidence, building more and more of it, is a lifelong journey. It doesn't end. There's no such human being who is confident in every single area of their life. It just doesn't happen. Because life is so broad. There's so many things, there's so many experiences that we can create in our lives. And you're never gonna be confident in every single scenario. So it is a lifelong journey to keep on building confidence. Someone who says, I'll teach you how to build confidence and 5 easy ways to have confidence for the rest of your life. You might in one area, but remember in another area you might be lacking. Remember, use these steps to consistently build confidence in whatever area you want to go after, and recognize that it is a lifelong journey. It is something you will always be going after. Building confidence is a lifelong journey through repetition and consistency. It's asking great what if questions and it's stacking every single scenario of confidence you possibly can, so you understand, I can do this. And then you start asking yourself that great question, what else can I do? Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is how to build confidence that lasts a long time, that you can eventually build it and become more confident in every single thing you do. Because once you're able to build confidence, whether you're able to stack that scenario, not only can you change your life, you can change the life of others. And when you change the life of others, you can see truly how powerful you are.